Hey, this is a video that I wanted to record really quickly to get us to think a little bit outside the box about maybe an additional way in which we can teach online, especially as we're trying to think about applied music and applied lessons. So as we get into this, we have a series of problems. One is a need to rapidly move a medium that is difficult to teach online. There's nothing, for me, in my opinion, that is better than the human-to-human connection of an applied lesson. And so that's definitely a loss as we approach this pandemic. The loss of a rich acoustic spectrum through digitization, that anytime we take the richness of a musical performance in that acoustical spectrum and then put it through a digital funnel, we're always losing something there. So those are some of the problems as we approach applied music online. An opportunity, though, that I see with teaching some applied music online, and this is one technique that you might use just like you use salt and pepper in a recipe, like every now and then, maybe in supplement to online meetings. So some of the problems are that most music students rarely listen to music recordings as much as we tell them to listen to music recordings. 2, most music students rarely listen and watch themselves perform. So the question is, how can we use this very quick transition to online learning as a way of seizing an opportunity to maybe help students be reflective? So the question is, what would happen if we found an online teaching technique that increases both listening and rehearsal as we're approaching applied music? So here is one idea that I have. And it's this idea about having the students record a video of themselves performing a music or a piece that's well rehearsed, sending it to the teacher, letting the teacher watch it, and then having the teacher watch the video with the student. So number one, in my experience, I've done this in teaching piano class, that students often record multiple takes before submitting it to the teacher, and I found that that's a very sneaky way of increasing practice time, because students will want to get the recording just right, and they may do 10 takes or even 20 takes until they get just the right recording that they want to submit to their teacher for their applied lesson. And the bonus is that you get extra practice time. So I'm intentional about encouraging students to do multiple takes until they have the best version of their performance. And what I also see is that this will increase listening and self-review critique often, because oftentimes the student will watch the video again before they submit to the teacher, and yet there's another opportunity for the students to watch themselves and be more aware. And sometimes they actually start to watch the video from the perspective of their applied teacher, which is a whole nother thing. And then this idea that when the teacher watches a video with a student providing feedback, this seems to help the student examine his or her practice from a new perspective. Like, can we leave the embodiment for a second of what we're doing and look at each other, look at ourselves and our performance from a new perspective? So considerations too that I'm also very aware of is I don't want students uploading performances to YouTube. I want to be very cautious and respectful of privacy. So I want a tool that does that, and I need to make it as easy as possible. So what I've considered, I love using Swivl with students. So Swivl is an application that's mostly been designed for the observation of teaching. But what I love about it is that students can download the Swivl app onto their phones. I use it as I teach oral skills, and I have students upload the recordings of them singing prepared pieces in solfege, and they can easily share it with the teacher. Another really cool tool, Slack is supposed to be the replacement for email. It's a messaging system. Slack allows you to upload videos, so that's another thing that I've used. There's all kinds of other options you can look at. And then pairing this kind of technology with a screen share or conferencing app like Zoom or Facetime. So let's look at it really quick. So if I go to Swivl, all right, so here's the Swivl app. I've got all kinds of videos that my students have recorded from oral skills and stuff like that. I'm going to choose this one music education student, just playing a few seconds. So this student recorded a video. Okay, as she's doing this. And she can go into share very quickly, and then she can share with the web link her performance with the teacher, create the web link and such. So we can do that. And then I want to show you one other really quick option. So Slack is supposed to be the application that eventually replaces email because it has context-specific notifications. Slack is a really easy thing that I can put right here on my iPhone. We use it for communications in my freshman music ed class. So we have our online discussions here in between classes, and they can add all kinds of different things to it. But one other really nice thing about it is that from my phone, I can upload videos. And so here's our random channel. You can see some student decided that I needed to see a possum. But here's a video that I really quickly uploaded. And it's a student performing. So here's yet another way in which maybe students can share videos with a teacher in a very confidential way, and that which we can watch together. And then what I can do is I can launch a screen share app like Zoom. Let's see if I can do it really fast. Okay, and here's my documentation of Zoom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the other student log in here, and I'll say, "Hi, Mary, how are you doing?" And she would respond. I'd say, "Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you, and let's watch this video together." So I go into Share, and I'm going to choose this screen that I'm on right now. I'm going to click Share, and now all of a sudden the student is seeing this screen right here, and then I can play the video. And I can say, "Okay, so let's talk about this performance." And even as the video is playing, we can talk about it a little bit. I say, "You know what, I noticed this here. I noticed the shape of your phrase right here. Did you notice it right there?" And so it's a way of like having a private lesson, but having a private lesson in which both you and the student are watching a copy of the performance together. You can do kind of the same thing with FaceTime with screen sharing as well. So I just wanted to record this very briefly to give yet another creative idea about how we might approach applied music online.